The inevitability of centralization and its consequences. Ever wondered who really holds the power in today's society? The truth might surprise you. It's not the voters, it's not the politicians, it's something far more sinister. In this video, we reveal the untold truth about government and corporate collusion. Stay tuned. In modern society, individuals often seek security through centralized government structures. This is a natural response to personal and collective insecurities that arise when wealth, power, and control seem distant. While the efficiency of large-scale centralization appears to benefit society, it inevitably serves to concentrate power and wealth in the hands of a few elite entities. Governments and corporations capitalize on this centralization to maintain control and suppress competition. Footnote: Centralization, while efficient, can exacerbate wealth and power inequalities, reinforcing a system of control. The role of government and corporations in maintaining control. Centralized governments are not mere administrators of public policy but are, in fact, facilitators of corporate power. Through legislation, government ensures that corporations flourish, often at the expense of smaller competitors. The relationship between government and corporations is not one of separation but of symbiosis, where both entities benefit from the maintenance of control over the public. Governments, by passing laws that favor large corporations, actively stifle competition and perpetuate monopolies. Footnote: Government policies often prioritize corporate interests, facilitating monopolistic practices that undermine competition. The mechanisms of financial repression. Financial repression refers to the systematic extraction of wealth from individuals and institutions to sustain government and corporate interests. This process manifests through two primary methods: inflation caused by the excessive printing of money and the suppression of interest rates. Inflation, or quantitative easing, devalues currency, thereby diminishing the value of savings and earnings. Simultaneously, low interest rates punish savers, incentivizing borrowing, but also ensuring that debt can be maintained at low costs for corporations and the government. Footnote: Financial repression harms individual wealth through inflation and low interest rates, benefiting corporations and government entities that rely on debt. The impact of debt on individuals. The debt burden of both the government and its citizens is an alarming feature of modern economies. Government borrowing has led to a situation where, despite the appearance of low taxes, individuals are ultimately responsible for vast sums of public debt. The total debt is transferred to the taxpayers, often without their informed consent. These debts do not simply vanish, they accumulate, and the cost of servicing them falls on the public through higher taxes and inflation. Footnote: Government borrowing disproportionately impacts taxpayers, who must service the increasing national debt through taxes and inflation. The flawed system of wealth distribution. While the government's purported role is to serve the public interest, the current system has become one of exploitation. Instead of redistributing wealth to benefit the masses, it exacerbates inequalities. Corporations, bolstered by favorable legislation, accumulate wealth through subsidies, bailouts, and monopolistic practices, while the general populace is left with the costs of these arrangements. This inequity is not merely a side effect of governance but a deliberate feature of the system designed to benefit the elite. Footnote: The redistribution of wealth under centralized power serves to benefit the elite, while leaving the general population with the economic burden. The illusion of democracy and the centralization of power. Although democracy purports to give individuals a voice, the reality is that centralized power structures prevent genuine representation. Political parties, while presented as mechanisms for democratic participation, often serve as distractions that further entrench corporate and governmental control. The division of the electorate into opposing parties effectively neutralizes any meaningful resistance to government policies. The true power lies with those who control both government and corporate agendas, making the notion of democratic accountability an illusion. Footnote: Political parties, far from empowering individuals, often neutralize public resistance and reinforce the control of corporate and government elites. The path toward true self-governance. To break free from the cycle of centralized control, individuals must reclaim their sovereignty and self-determination. By uniting around common interests and ceasing to rely on governmental structures for guidance or protection, society can begin to dismantle the systems of power that currently dominate. The true path forward is one where individuals act as their own leaders, making decisions based on personal responsibility and collective action without the coercive force of government. Footnote: True self-governance can only be achieved by individuals reclaiming their authority and resisting centralized control. Conclusion: The dangers of centralized control. Centralized control, whether exercised by government or corporations, creates a perpetual cycle of exploitation, corruption, and failure. By continuing to rely on these structures, we perpetuate a system that benefits only the elite and exploits the public. To break free from this system, individuals must resist the temptation to seek solutions from centralized authorities and instead embrace a decentralized model of governance based on self-reliance and individual sovereignty. Footnote: Breaking free from centralized control requires a shift toward decentralization and individual sovereignty, rejecting reliance on government and corporate power. Now that you understand how centralized control works, the next step is up to you. Will you accept the status quo, or will you fight for your freedom and sovereignty? Join the movement, and let's take back our power.